Hello there everybody and welcome back to Movie Squirm. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 2024 film The Strangers Chapter 1. And this is directed by Rennie Harlan and stars Madeline Petch and Freud Gutierrez. When a couple on a long drive encounter some car trouble in a strange town, they are forced to stay at an Airbnb. But later that night, they are hunted by three masked killers. Now guys, this movie did make my top 10 most anticipated horror movies of 2024 video, more for the intrigue of what this movie was going to be, because this is a planned trilogy, and I really was scratching my head thinking, what are they going to do with a Strangers planned trilogy? They must have something exciting up their sleeve or something really out there. So it was more intrigue than excitement. And after watching The Strangers from 2008 last week and then seeing the trailer again before going into this one, it kind of left me a little bit less anticipated, let's say, because I was not a fan of The Strangers from 2008, especially on rewatch, and this movie kind of looked like it was doing the same thing. But I did watch The Strangers Pray at Night in between, and I got my hopes up a little bit, which I enjoyed a hell of a lot more than the original. So what did I think of The Strangers Chapter 1? Let's find out. Well guys, this is going to be one of the most unique reviews I think I've ever done, because I don't think I can review this movie without comparing it to that 2008 film. The reason for that is I feel like I've just reviewed this movie last week with that 2008 film. Now, there are a lot of similarities here, but there are one or two differences as well, which made me enjoy this movie just a little bit more, much to my surprise, and I'm still scratching my head over it even now. But my experience with this movie, guys, was I just couldn't stop thinking of the 2008 film, because so many things happen in this one that happen in that. It's almost shot for shot, although not quite that. But what I will say is that in The Strangers Chapter 1, I enjoyed the couple that we have at the core focus here a hell of a lot more than I did in the 2008 version. I was not a fan of Liv Tyler or Scott Speedman in that movie. They're kind of unhappy in that film. They're kind of at odds with each other. And I just enjoyed this couple a hell of a lot more. They seem like a very cutesy duo there who really are in love with each other. They seem very innocent. They've got a lot of future plans together. And I feel like they were a couple I could get behind. And as the movie kind of goes on, I felt a hell of a lot more sorry for them than I did with Liv Tyler and Scott Speedman in that original. Yes, I know I'm comparing a lot here, guys, but this is probably going to be more of a comparison video more than an actual full review. But I'll do my very best. But Madeline Petch, especially, was the standout of this film. I think she was the biggest positive of the movie. She was just someone you really warmed to. She had this cute personality, you know, this larger-than-life image, and she just kind of owned the screen every time she was on it. She stood out, and I just really took a liking to her. I know Freud Gutierrez, as her boyfriend, he was fine in the movie. You know, I don't think he was a strong point as Madeline Petch, but as a duo, as a couple, I thought they were great together on screen. And I gotta say, I thought the creepiness and the scares were done well here. Rennie Harlan done a good job behind the camera, although I can't give him too much kudos because it is basically a copy of Homework, which I'll talk about more in a minute. But I think the scares and stuff were done better, in my opinion, because in that first movie, I just could telegraph every jump scare when it was coming. But here, I was kind of thrown off a couple of times, and I do think when these strangers are emerging from the shadows and stuff, it does work effectively. And, you know, I just felt a little bit more on edge, and that is mainly down to the two characters that I cared about. Like I said, I kind of felt bad for them in the situation, and I wanted them to get out of it. You know, I couldn't care less in the 2008 film what happened to that couple, but here, I really did. And, you know, I just felt like they didn't deserve what was happening to them. And I like how in this movie they broke it up a little bit. The majority does take place in this house, of course, but I liked at the start of the film how we got to see some of the inhabitants of this town, and they're nursing a dark secret. You can tell something is at the back of their mind that they just don't want to speak about, or they know something's about to happen to this couple, and maybe that will be elaborated on in chapter 2 and 3. But I just like how we didn't spend it all in this house, and just the whole movie constantly was characters hiding from murderers, basically. You know, it kind of gives the viewer some room to breathe a little bit there. However, guys, I gotta say, this is weirdly very, very similar to the original film. Like I said in the start of the review, there are so many similarities here, and I think that is why a lot of people will not like this film. If the 2008 version didn't exist, I think they would have had a much better time with this one. Maybe that's where I'm thinking why everyone hates it, and I can fully understand that. I mean, I went on my Omen 2006 review and said I am not a fan of shot-for-shot remakes. If you're going to do something, do it different. And whilst this isn't fully shot-for-shot, there are so many things that happen at the exact same times as the 2008 film. It's very, very much a mirror image at times, and even the ending is just like, wow, they done that again. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, the makers of this film have said that it's not a reimagining, it's not a remake. So is this future canon because this is a prequel to the 2008 one? I don't know how you can say that when it is virtually the same sort of film.
Is Tamara here?
No.
I think you have the wrong home.
But there are some horror traits thrown in here that you can just see a mile off where they're going to go. I mean, there's a guy here who has an inhaler. I wonder how that's going to play into things later on. Is he going to drop it? Is he going to lose it? Is he going to need it at a pivotal time in the film? Well, we'll see, won't we? But you can sort of tell where that's going. Also, there is an opening scene here where a character hurts his leg and he's getting chased, and I'm like, how many fucking people in these horror movies just have something wrong with their leg where they can't run? It just baffles me every time, and there's quite a few of them in here, unfortunately. There's also a lot of unexplained stuff here that I just don't get with this franchise, and it's in here again. The two churchgoers walking around saying, "Are you a sinner?" I mean, that's in here again. What does that even mean? I just don't get that at all. Also, what are the strangers' motivations here? Are they just doing it because they want to? I don't know. But what I will say on this is I hope they expand upon that in chapter 2 and 3. And this movie does end a little bit differently, just a little bit there with the final shot, where I feel like it will get me looking forward to chapter 2 a little bit there. Surely they are going to go in a little bit of a different direction. However, guys, I still can't put my finger on why I enjoyed this a hell of a lot more. I'm putting it down to the two characters that I just liked a lot better. I've explained my reasons, the positives, what I preferred it over the original, but it's nothing special. It's nothing you haven't seen before. I mean, this is a movie that is probably going to disappoint a lot of people. But, like I said, I'm against shot-for-shot remakes. However, am I really when it's a movie I hate and it gets remade and makes me come with a better experience? I mean, The Omen, you're not beating that original. Psycho done it as well. I mean, they are absolute classics. But The Strangers from 2008 isn't one of them films for me personally. And now it's been redone and it is a little bit better for me. I am probably always going to go to this version if I want to watch The Strangers over that one. I'm just going to go ahead and rate this movie now, guys. I'm going to give The Strangers Chapter 1 a 6 out of 10. Sorry I could not expand upon this a little bit more and give it its own review, but I just could not do this review without comparing it. It was just virtually impossible for me. So it's not every day you see a movie come out like this, and it was just very, very strange to see that. Okay, guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to this channel if horror is your sort of thing. And if you want to check out my Strangers 2008 review, that will be in the link down below. What did you think of The Strangers Chapter 1? Please do let me know in the comments down below. Thanks so much, guys. You take care, and I'll see you all in the next video.